What's going on, guys? Liam here, and it's time to predict round 26 of the 2023 NRL season. I cannot believe it's the second last round of the year, man. This is flown by. And in my opinion, one of the most even, best years of footy we've had. It's been absolutely brilliant, guys. So in this video, we'll go over all the games quickly. We'll go through the ladder, we'll go through the matchups, we'll give all our predictions. And obviously getting this close to the end of the year, we're obviously talking about what, form, moving forward, resting players, where they're finishing, all that sort of stuff. So this video becomes a little sloppy, but it's just the way I like it, nice and sloppy. All right, guys. So let's get this thing started, guys. And obviously, if you're not already, make sure you sub, like, all that good stuff. It all helps out, guys. It all helps out, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Love the chat, guys. Love it. All right, so Parramatta's last game of the year. They're done after this one. So what a way to finish. Penrith Panthers at home. Jesus, and look at those odds, $1.11 to $7, and that's about right. Not going to lie. Warriors host the Dragons. Where is it? Yeah, Auckland. We have the Dolphins hosting the Cowboys. Ooh, big game for the Cows. Big game for the Cows. Storm versus the Titans. We have the Roosters versus the Tigers. We have the Raiders versus the Broncos. That's going to be a good one too. Damn. And then we have Bulldogs versus Eagles, and probably game of the round, Knights versus the Sharkies. God, that is going to be a cracker. And then, Jesus, the Bunnies just crumbling. All the stuff I'm hearing coming out of that joint. Wow. Absolutely falling to pieces up there. It's pretty damn nuts. Pretty damn nuts what's going on. And yeah, it's a bit strange. Sort of thing. It's funny. It's funny. Sometimes teams lose. Like sometimes when teams go on, most except for Penrith, pretty much every team goes on a skid. Has gone on a skid over the past few years, and it's just funny. Sometimes it's it's just a bad patch, and other times just all this stuff comes out. So pretty wild. It's going to be really interesting to see how this all wraps up. It's wild, absolutely wild. NRL, man, it's a goddamn soap opera. All right, so a couple biggest games against Broncos Canberra. This could, obviously, Broncos want to win to keep, on level with Penrith, possibly jag that top spot. And obviously don't want to lose either because Warriors are close and they do have Melbourne next week. So their forward against is probably healthy enough, but still, nice little buff is always nice. And technically, Raiders, I mean, if this for and against was healthy, I think they're guaranteed to make the 8 on 32 points. But just because it's so bad, I mean, if Cowboys do win their next two, or Rabbitohs do win their next two, or I guess Roosters do win their next two. Roosters isn't too much better either, is it? Jesus Christ. Yeah, but nonetheless, they want to jag one of these last two, sort of thing, and Broncos, they got them last time, so we don't know. And, obviously Cowboys and Roosters the only ones still in the hunt. Eels gone. Manly gone. Titans gone. Dolphins gone. And thank God I don't have to get that Dolphins tattoo, man. Thank God. All right, let's get to Parramatta Eels, to Parramatta Panthers. So To'o back. Huge inclusion. He's probably the one player in Penrith you notice isn't playing when he's not there. I think they cover every other position well. And it's not the kid that filled in for him. What's his name again? He's down here. Tom Jenkins. He's fine. He's not bad at all. But To'o's just so damaging. Like he's just so damn damaging. And you just notice he gets his sets rolling so good. If it's not the first hit up, it's the second, and it's 10 metres plus 4-5 post contact every time with a quick play of the ball. It's ridiculous what he does. We don't see nothing like it before. It's absolutely brilliant. So huge for them. Shaun Lane back for Para, but only listed in the reserves. Where is he? Is he in the reserves? Sure, I saw him here. Or he's been listed in the team. Maybe this has changed. Yeah, he is. He's in the interchange. Okay. But yeah, I saw a little interview with Brad Arthur. They're obviously just tinkering for next year, but Parramatta fans, I think you should rest easy. I think you got a pretty damn good team for next year. Like I listed all the reasons. Like Parramatta had a lot against them this year. They lost their hooker, they lost the two strike edge rollers, and then the ones they did keep were injured all year. They had the most 5-day turnarounds. They played the second to most top 8 teams. They had no help over the Origin season with buys, and they had Origin players in. You know, they've got a bye next week, which is completely useless, sort of thing. So they had a lot of going against them. I think if the draw favours them a little bit better next year, they get a little bit of help with the buys, and they don't get the injuries to key players and suspensions to key players at key times. I'd well and truly see them making the 8 again next year. So Parramatta, like Penrith and Melbourne, are probably the only 2 teams to me that can have stuff go wrong throughout the year. You know, key injuries. You know, Pappenhausen's out all last. You know, like all this sort of horrible stuff happened to them, and they still make the finals. I think pretty much every other team, if stuff goes wrong, you probably miss it. That's how even this comp is, and that's what I think happened. I just think stuff didn't go their way, and they're just not quite Penrithy sort of level to sort of make it. So yeah, if you're a Para fan, I wouldn't be too bothered at all. I think you're just fine. You got a lot of really good players there in the prime of their careers, and you got world class halves pairing, and stuff like that. So I think world-class front row, so I think you're going to be absolutely just fine. And I heard Papali'i wants to back out of Tigers and come back. Maybe even Stefano as well. But yeah, we'll have a quick look at the team things, but we'll go through this pretty damn quick. So for try scorers, I probably will be looking anything on this edge. So I'll probably be looking at Crichton. And I'm not too sure what's going on with May. Every week, this goes up. So like he's been out for about four or nearly 5 weeks now, and no one's really said how bad the injury is. And then Mitch Kenny just rested, and I don't know what's going on with Sorensen either. So I'm not too sure what's going on in Penrith with these sort of injuries. Just not listed as injuries, but just not there like Sorensen's. Good man. Mitch Kenny's super underrated too. But yeah, I'll be looking probably at Tortle and Crichton for my try scorers. I think they should get them done. Where are we going? All right, so form guide, obviously Penrith flying high. Haven't really looked like losing a game. I mean, this was their closest one, and it was a 12-point win. Parramatta haven't really looked good. And this win over the Dragons was dicey too. So pretty damn average, man. Pretty damn average. Like I said, they're not a horrendous year. I mean, they've won plenty of games. Remember, there's about 4 or 5 games, Parramatta 2. There was 4 games they lost by 4 points in the first 5 or 6 rounds. If they even win 2 of them, they're in the 8, you know. So, like I said, it's not all doom and gloom. Some people want to panic. But, I mean, look at this, man. 12 points a game. So, essentially, Penrith conceding 2 tries a game. Parramatta conceding 4. Yeah, so this should be good for try scorers if you're an anytime try scorer punter. I mean, you got a pretty good shot at hitting a try scorer. Especially, Parramatta's edges have been fully exposed lately. So the middle defense is still pretty solid. So I'll be looking on the edges for this one. Quick play the balls, and this win rate at home is just pretty damn good, 60%. God damn, we're tipping Penrith to win well. 13 plus, but not. I don't think it's going to be like a Broncos hiding. I think it'll be that 28-6 or 36-10 or something like that, somewhere around there. All right, let's go on to Warriors Dragons. Now this game here, this is a danger game for the Warriors, man. Dragons have been playing pretty damn good footy, and I'll explain in a minute. But Zac Lomax back as well. They've been playing great without him. I've been pretty impressed with them. People always go, oh man, Dragons just suck and Ben Hunt's just carrying that team. I think Ben Hunt's been one of their lower performing players, especially over the last 2 months. He's been pretty damn average. I'm just looking up what the line is to cover for St George. 17 points, 16.5 points to cover the line. I reckon they can do it, hey? I reckon they can cover that. Just Warriors are, everyone's like, oh man, they're just beaten team, they're faded and they're gone, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that at all. But I do see a little bit of fatigue in them. I think they've got one eye on the finals now, obviously. I do think they're, it's sort of hard to explain without sounding I'm bagging them, because I'm not. Like, I just do see a little bit of let's get to the finals. Like, we're ready for the finals now, and these games are probably a little hard to get up for, sort of thing. I do. Like, just remember too, Warriors at the start of this season, and I promise you, I know Warriors fans might have thought they were going to make the top 8 this year, and probably a lot of them are lying as well. I do not think in any way, shape or form that they thought they were going to be in this position at the start of the year, and they would have been front-loading their energy to bank wins hard. And Webster, being a new coach, would have been just trying to get whatever win he possibly can at the start of the season, which is perfectly fine. And now they're sitting in third. I do just not quite like what happened to Cowboys. Like, they obviously front loaded a lot of their energy to just make it back into the hump. But I do see this. It's not quite as, like for example, Fanil Blake was ripping dudes apart for the first 2/3 of the season, and he's still playing them brilliant. But it's not quite as venomous and stuff like that. So I definitely could see a little. I definitely could see a possible upset here. However, I am not calling that. I am tipping the Warriors, but I think Dragons could 100% cover 16 points, 17 points for sure. Like, Warriors aren't playing. Like, Warriors aren't blowing teams off the park the last month, sort of thing. And we'll have a quick look. Hey, where are they? So last 4 games, what's that? 6-point win, 7-point win, 8-point win, 10-point win, 1-point win, and then you go back to the Sharks. It's just been these last 4 games. Definitely not. And remember, this Titans, they were down 12 men for most of the game. So, like I said, not blowing teams away. So I really like Dragons to cover here. Having said that, Warriors could go out and put 40 on them. But I'm much leaning towards, let's have a look at their scores. I'd look at something. I think it would be something like 28-18. Just something like that. Just probably leak a few tries, maybe score 4 or 5 themselves. You know what I mean? That's what I'd say it's more likely going to be. But we'll have to wait and see. Now, Tawari Martin's back. Such a... Like, when they signed him, I was like, oh, what a great signing. And he looked pretty good at the start of the year, then got injured. It's not a spot for him in here anymore. Like, that's how good he is. Like, he was starting for the Broncos all last year. He's handy. Metcalf's just been killing it. It's just such a good balanced team now. It's bloody crazy. Ford's in on the bench. Curran comes to the second row. But yeah, it's a beautifully balanced team. And so obviously Lomax comes back in too. Ravalawa is still there. I've actually been pretty impressed with the Moan. Blake Laurie's just been Payne Haas, just the white Payne Haas. I really like this Dean Russell. I like this Billy Burns, and I'm really liking Masilla, and I'm actually really liking this kid. I thought the Dragons were a joke at the start of this year, and I was like, they were close to my tip for Wooden Spoon, which isn't too wrong. Like, second last, so it wasn't too far off. But I didn't think that unearth all these pretty good players. Like, I'm liking what they're doing. I'm liking what they're doing. It's pretty good, man. It's pretty good, but. Yeah, Warriors just have that confidence. And sometimes too, let's have a look at the games won and lost. Sometimes you can just, they've been in all these games, but when you're losing a lot, you can just, they call it forgetting how to win. It's not forgetting how to win, it's just almost forgetting how to ice games. It just becomes hard, and these skids just become longer and longer. It's pretty damn tough. And when you're fighting a team with this many W's, it's tough, man, but congratulations to the Warriors. I said it again. If you lose every game from the rest of the year on, I still consider the season a ginormous success. 24 points scored, 18 conceded for the Warriors. Brilliant. And we've got 20 points for scored for the Dragons and 28 conceded. So who's on Ravalawa? I might chuck in Montoya. Montoya's on the left though, isn't he? Yeah, I might go Montoya just because he's on Ravalawa's side. Zac can be a bit slack as well. But yeah, DWZ on Fengo. Yeah, this is a tough one. But yeah, I'll probably be looking at Montoya this one. And Josh Curran loves a try too, doesn't he? Maybe even Josh Curran. Ravalawa is always good for the Dragons too. But yeah, so we're going Warriors, man, to keep this thing rolling. Yeah, good. 57% win rate at this venue. Not too bad. Not too shabby from the Dragons. Travelling. Yeah, good. Yeah, we'll go Warriors to win in I'd probably say 1-12, but I don't like 1-12s, but definitely to cover the line at 17 sort of thing. So Warriors not to cover the line at 17. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Now another danger game. Everyone's just said, oh well, they're going to win it, and then they've just got to hopefully they, like Panthers will rest players. Bro, this game is not a lock. I'm telling you now, this game is not a lock. Cowboys have been awful. And the one thing we've learned about the Dolphins all year, minus a couple of games, they really don't beat themselves, and they do play for 80 minutes. They're just lacking that striking power and all that sort of stuff. But if Cowboys, one of the biggest downfalls of the Cowboys this year for me has been, like, do you remember the first game of the year? The first game of the year, I sat there and watched them play Canberra, and the first 40 minutes, I was like, Cowboys are going to win the comp. I said that. I was like, Cowboys are going to win the comp. They look like last year's team, just 2.0. They looked at that, and then they just completely faded in that second half and won by 1 point. Up until that run they went on, they had 10, 20 minutes of brilliance, or even a half, and then terrible. It's putting those full 80-minute performance together. They did get it together for a little bit, and since then, like, even in these losses they've had, they've looked great for periods, but then they've just, like, last week against the Sharkies, I thought they were on top for the first 25 minutes, but then it just all faded. Like, they put 20 minutes of brilliant footy together, 25, maybe even 30, and then just all fell away. If they do that against the Dolphins could get them. Like, Dolphins could get them. Like, this is not like, Hamaso out the back, love that. Osako can tear you apart. Tessie New in the centres, I don't mind that. Jennings, Nicarima in the halves with O'Sullivan, that's tidy. Like, it's not incredible, but it's tidy. And then you got, Bromwich. I mean, if this was King and they had Gilbert in this second row, and then they got big forward pack coming off the bench, this is where they could actually get them. Like, I have no doubt that Cowboys will probably get on top early in this game, right? But when Cogger went off, I can't remember who else went off, might have been Jason against the Sharkies, and Hunt and Hazelton and stuff coming completely sweet. These are big boys. Like, Essie, Kerr and Wallace, like, they'll come punching through the middle still, and I mean, you got Granville, love him, he's the bro, but he's not, he's going to try his ring off. But Neem again, he's beast, but Colin Hess can be a bit hit or miss. This could swing in Dolphins' favour really, really quickly. I'm not writing them off at all. Let's see what the line is for them. Let's see what the line is for the Dolphins. 10.5, probably not enough. If that was 14, I'd probably take him. Like that. That's like, I have no doubt Cowboys are a better rugby league team than Dolphins, but they look fatigued, they look tired, and they're struggling to put 80 minutes together. I mean, if you look at their stats for the season, I mean, completion rate, great. That's fine. That'll do. Tackle efficiency, it's not great, but it's decent. Mostly just completion rates. But yeah, it's they'll hang in there, and if they fade like they did against Parramatta, and they hung on, and they faded against a few other, like even Manly, they were good enough to hold on. But Dolphins will get you, So if I was a Cowboys fan, I wouldn't be counting this as a WA. I'd be very nervous. Having said that, you do have a better rugby league team, and if you play to your absolute best, you will win this rugby league game. So that's my view on it. But I do not see this as a lock. I might even set my own line, and if I can get a decent price for about a 16, 14-point head start, I might even take that. But yeah, just Dolphins, Jesus Christ, I didn't realise there was that many L's. But this is at home, and this is the other thing too. Cowboys, what have they got? 3 wins from the year away from home? 3 from 10 away from home. So they're travelling poorly as well. Like this, I'm telling you, this is not a lock. Like this Penrith game could not matter. Like I've heard a lot of my mates that are Cowboys fans are like, oh man, we just have to beat Penrith and hopefully they'll rest players. I'm like, bro, you have to beat the Dolphins. You have to beat the Dolphins first. Don't be writing off them Finns, man. Fins up, baby. So how'd they go? They beat you last time, man. Can't say this is a lock. Jesus. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, obviously leaking points here. Cowboys 22 and 22. Geez, you don't see that often. That's about their season. Score 4 tries. Let 4 in. Oh, Jesus Christ. That is hilarious. Not the crazy stats yet. Look, I'm going to take the Cowboys. Let's keep them in the hunt. But yeah, like I said, I would not be surprised at all if the Finns get this. And like I said, let's see, I'll see if I'll pick my own line at about 14 and see what odds I get. Choose your own line. Dolphins plus, let's go 14.5. $1.52. Probably not quite good enough because Cowboys can rip you apart. I'll have to think about that one, but we're tipping the Cows. Come on, Cows, get up them. All right, look at this name right here. I remember the first time I saw that name on a team list. I was like, how the hell do you say that? Ryan Pappenhausen. I did it with this name too. I can still barely say it. Yeah, so really liking what the Storm are doing lately. We got the Paps, his name in the reserves. We got this team's starting to fill out real nice. I mean that's a solid reserves. Yeah, looking good. They're looking real good. Peaking right time. Nelson at lock. Don't love it, but who am I to question the great Craig Bellamy? Although I did make a couple calls on his team not long ago, and he listened to me, man. So obviously, Craig Bellamy's been tuning in and listening. Number one fan. It's still quite I mean, Jaden Campbell and Sammy out now. I loved Brimson last week. I didn't realise he was so strong. He's damn good. Kieran Foran back, Moe there, Jolloff in, Tino's still at lock, Khalees Haas in the second row. Yeah, it's just they've just run out of juice a little bit, the Titans. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with their season, and Desi's going to be really good for them next year. But yeah, I think we'll go. Jesus, well that's right. I remember that game. So the last 2 times they played. Wow, that's. Gee, I don't know if we'll be seeing this. Yes, I think. I think Storm's defense will be a little better than that. Little patchy from the Storm coming into the finals. I mean, 3 from 5. It's not terrible, but he'd be pretty. I mean, he's lost to arguably two of the top 3 hottest teams in the comp. So yeah, not too bad at all. And Titans with losses to Panthers, Sharks, Warriors. And then they beat the Cowboys. That's right, they did too. And then, yeah, so the last 3 losses have been against 3 pretty damn red-hot teams. So not too bad at all. Like I said, that's where I sort of expected them to be this year. But having said that, there's sometimes you can have a record like this and you're like, geez, I don't know where they're going to go next year. I think they've discovered a lot of backbone or grit, determination. They've got a great new coach who's all about discipline and hard work, and they've unearthed some pretty damn good players. So like this is like for example, Bulldogs, right? Like they've had how many wins they got on the year? Oh, so I'll go here. Bulldogs have had 7 wins? 7 wins. So only 1 less win, but like Bulldogs look like a mess for next year. Like, you know what I mean? Whereas Titans, like, yeah. So like, it's funny how, isn't it funny like the perception it can be? Like 1 win difference. Like Titans have had 1 extra win, but I'm extremely confident they're going to be better next year. Bulldogs with 1 less win, I'm like, Jesus Christ, they could not win a game next year maybe. I'm not saying that's the case, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. It's, yeah. Wow, look at that. Roosters are only $46 to win the grand final. That is insane. They're half Canberra. They're not even going to make the final. Well, then probably it's very hard for them to make the finals. Wow, that is insane. That is nuts. That just blew my mind. Yeah, they fix this up next year. Keep this at 80 or up. Get this up to 26 and get this under 21. Go Titans. I might even come watch a home game for you. Average points scored for the Storm, 25 to 19. I mean, play the ball speed's pretty bang on. Wins at this venue, Jesus. I think you know who I'm going to pick in this one, aren't you guys? We're going to Storm to win and win well. Try scorers, I'm loving me some Warbrick at the moment. And I'm loving the way they go right. Jerome Hughes on that right edge is lethal. I sort of like him getting more ball because I think that makes Munster scarier. Like, Munster's like your joker. Like, you don't want to run all your play through him. That makes sense. Like, obviously you want him to touch the ball heaps, but you don't want him to do a Schuster. But like, I like Hughes getting a lot. I like Hughes getting his hands dirty. I think they're better when. I can't remember any games in particular, but I remember last year when Hughes was on, it just freed Munster up so good. And Munster just injects himself when he wants, and that's a scary proposition. That's a scary composition. But yeah, I'd sort of see the score probably something like 32 to 8ish. I'm just sort of guessing, but I'll probably go Storm 13 plus, but not a blowout. Like, probably less than 20 points. Like I said, the Titans definitely have some resolve in there. All right, so now we're on Roosters Tigers. Roosters have to win this. This is another one of those danger games. Like I said, Tigers aren't playing bad. And let's have a quick look at the team list, the team stats first. Okay, so this is a little lower than I thought, but obviously Roosters still, even though they've been jagging some wins, they still haven't been completing great. And West Tigers can complete pretty good, and they've been tackling, but like, that's Penrith numbers, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, you know, obviously you haven't been able to score some of the time, but yeah, it's I would again not be overly shocked if Tigers ice them. Would not be overly shocked at all. I actually really like this team, and like Bulla, Nofaluma, I liked this Riley. Is that how you say his name? He was great. I'm loving me some Dane Laurie. Oh, Will Smith in. Yeah, probably not. Abby Coruscant back from his back injury for carrying the Tigers last week. Jesus Christ. But no, I actually like their bench better. I love this Blore. 12's been brilliant. Like, I know I don't, like, thought 12 sucked. And I was like, when he became a cult hero, I was like, bro, he's so bad. Like, why is it? But he's been absolutely brilliant, man. Absolutely brilliant. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But Joey Manu back to fullback. Napa out. Tedesco out. Corey Allen back. Egan Butcher. Jared Weir-Hargroves back. Sam Walker. Look at that. The baby-faced assassin. I'll have to wait and see how it goes. Not feeling this. Yeah, okay. So Drew Hutchison back to the... Jeez, that's a big call, man. Bringing Sam Walker back from injury straight into there. Well, yeah, it's a big game, man. I would not be surprised. What are Tigers playing to cover? That's me checking everyone to cover. Let's have a look. 14.5. How much have Tigers been losing games by? So they won one by 1 point. Lost this by 8. Lost this by 4. Lost this by 14. Lost this by 4. Jesus, they could cover here, boys. Oof. I'm going to have to think about that one. Keep an eye, like I said, guys, with all my try scorers and stuff, keep an eye on sorry, I just got a weird message. Keep an eye on my TikTok and my shorts as well, guys. Obviously, do a bit more updated stuff. This is just more my head-to-head picks. Look at that hiding. 2022, 72 to 6. I don't think we'll be seeing that, lads. Wow, what a hiding. Yeah, let's have a look at some matches. So I love Joey Manu at fullback. I like him better at centre, but he's pretty damn brilliant at fullback as well. Corey Allen in at centres. I don't like anything in this game. I'm probably going to avoid the punt on this one altogether, to be honest. I might just sit back and enjoy this one for real. Is that Simpkins out? Who played halfback last week? Can't remember. Let's have a quick look. Sorry, guys. It's struck my brain. Oh, that's right. Appy played 7. Appy played 7. And someone played hooker. Zac Jenkins played hooker, I think. Yeah, that's right. Fuck, Abby's a freak, man. Abby's a freak. All right, we'll have a look at the team stats, guys. All right, so 50% win this season, 11 from 22, 4 from... Can the Tigers get a 5th? I mean, you got to say it's a better season than last year if they do. Jesus. Completion rates, pretty even, but Tigers have been better. Tackle efficiency, Tigers have been better. Points scored, pretty even, 18 to 16, but yeah, Roosters' defense has been a little better. And play the ball speeds, both pretty quick. But Tigers, not many wins at this venue, 64%. So yeah, we'll go the Roosters for this one as far as tips go. But yeah, I don't mind them to cover at all. Alright, so on to the Raiders versus the Broncos. Huge game. Raiders got them last time in the Suncorp, down on troops. Jack White and Sebastian Chris named, but in the reserve, so we're not too sure who's playing. And this will sort of affect my tip a little bit, I guess you could say. I love Chris at fullback. He's become such a good fullback, and I just like Rapana. We've seen the more Rapana gets involved, the more likely he's going to get sin binned or sent off or just give stupid penalties. Not just because his effort. I wouldn't call him dirty, but he's rough. So yeah, Sebastian Chris much clean. I think he's need people in the head 4 to 5 times over the last 2 weeks. Rapana just sliding and stuff like that. I could saw at least 2 that could have been 8-point penalties, 8-point tries, sort of thing. So yeah, I much prefer Chris in there, and just Rapana can go to the wing, take his hit ups and diffuse spreads. Now Corey Oates named. Now this was a bit strange to me. Like I said, I much prefer Jesse Arthurs. Don't get me wrong. Palacia and the reserve. Look at how strong the reserves are. All of a sudden, I was questioning their depth this year. Now you got Tupou, Palacia, Jesse Arthurs, Kristen Sale, and Dean Mariner can't get a run. Jesus Christ, the Broncos are stacked. But like I said, this back three was what I was worried about. If it was together all year, because they are error machines. Like, Reece Walsh is running away with it. Cobbo's third or something, and Corey Oates would be in the top 5 too. And, that could have cost them games. So we'll have to wait and see with these back three. I mean, but Corey Oates brings a lot too. He's hard. He's great defensively. He's he's great at getting your sets going, and he can score a try too. He's a great acrobat. Score those acrobatic corner tries, so he brings a lot to the table. Like, to me, he's always brought more positive than negative. But the issue I had with it was when you have 3 in your team, that can be a little scary. But the funny thing about Corey is, it's if he gets a hard one first and he catches it, he doesn't look like dropping one for the rest of the game. It's a bit like Manu Vatuvei. Manu Vatuvei would literally scoop him up at his bootlaces, and he wouldn't drop a ball all night. And then one game he'll put down a sitter bomb and then just put them down all night. Because Corey's had some stinkers. Corey's had plenty of games where he's had 5 errors, which is horrendous. It's pretty damn crazy. All right, so yeah, this is Reynolds obviously being out. Jock Madden comes in. But yeah, this is a damn good Broncos team. I like Pakura. I would rather start him personally, but maybe bring in Jordan Ricky just to go through the firefight and then bring Pakura on as a thing. But this is a tough game. What's the line for the Raiders? What's the line for the Raiders? 9.5. Nah, not enough. We've seen Broncos perform without Reynolds now. This is in Canberra. Let's see what Broncos win rate's like from there. They've actually been winning away from home great this year. 38%, so not great. They don't travel there that well. Absolutely right and hot though. Well, that was their last game, that 54-10 win. Jesus Christ. And the Cowboys without Reynolds. Now, Broncos fans, what I do want you to do is get on your knees and pray to pray, not to God, to Adam Reynolds' calf that it's okay. I had a few people sort of not having a go at me, but they're like, it's been confirmed, he's only missing 1 week. I know, bros, but this is the thing. Calves are dodgy. What you got to remember is when your calf muscle, right, whenever you go to do anything, it's the first muscle that engages. You know what I'm saying? And when you're conscious of it, sometimes you'll step on your other foot first. But when you're in a game or when you're in training, it can just go again, and go again. So it can sort of go three ways. You can literally have a week off and it'd be perfectly fine, which is what we want. We want them to be healthy. There's a second one where it's like, I don't know if you guys remember Jerome Hughes last year. He would play a week, miss a week, play 2 weeks, miss 1 week, play a week, miss 2 weeks. And that went from before the finals all the way through the finals into the World Cup. It just did not come good. But it was good enough to play sometimes. And then you've got Latrell Mitchell where they go, hey, it's going to be a week or two, and then it's 8 weeks. So we're hoping it's the first one. But Broncos fans, like I said, him being a bit old, like Latrell Mitchell's 25. How old's Reynolds? 34. There's a lot more footy in those legs. A lot more footy in those legs. Wow. So yeah, we're hoping, and this is I think they're good at. Broncos are without Reynolds are 100% good enough to win this game. They're 100% good enough to win plenty of games. Where you really miss Reynolds would be, let's see the Raiders do get on top and they're bashing. And Reece Walsh is getting frustrated. He's yelling at the ref. You know what I mean? It's not all going your way. That's when Reynolds comes in with his cool head and just pins them in the corners and does all that, all his crafty stuff, you know, kicks early, turns people around, kicks a 40-20, does all that nice stuff, you know, like if he's not in this team and you get down, it's like Reece is just trying to score tries all the time, you know, like Cobbo's chip and chase and Mam's doing his crazy thing, you know what I'm saying? That's where you really could miss him. But again, like this could also go if Broncos just start dusting the the Raiders. This could get ugly for them as well. So, yeah, that's where they could miss Reynolds. But having said that, yeah, like I said, Raiders got them last time. Then last year, 24-18. That was in Brisbane as well. Raiders 3-2. Jeez, it's not great, is it? I thought they'd won 3 of their last 5. And Broncos is flying high. Look at that. Town team's up. Jeez, they let 24 points in against the Bulldogs. Damn. Let's have a look. See, 17. That's pretty good. So essentially leaking 3 tries a game. Average points scored 26. What was the last one? 20. Yeah, this is going to be a good one. Yeah, we have play the ball speed, bang on, similar. Wins it. So, yeah, Broncos don't travel well down here. This is, again, I would not be surprised if Raiders get this one, but Broncos have just been playing far too good for me to tip against them, so I'm going to go with the Broncos. Bulldogs, Sea Eagles. Bit of a game, so we won't go too much depth on this one, but... Okay, nothing to talk about the Bulldogs, not disrespecting you guys, but yeah, this, like I said, Bulldogs, this is a scrunch this season up and throw it over your shoulder one. Love to see Kohler at fullback, he's a beast. Shout out to Ruben Garrick, hopefully his back's okay. I heard it got a fracture in it. Actually didn't mind Jake Arthur's last week. I thought he was pretty handy. He made a couple terrible mistakes, but they were sort of lucky. Like one was an advantage and one was they reviewed it and they got it overturned and stuff like that. But all the good stuff he did was great. Like I can say with absolute certainty, it's better than what Schuster's been putting up, sort of thing. Ben Travojevic comes in the second row. But yeah, not a whole heap to talk about here, guys. Let's not waste anyone else's time getting into this in too much detail. But I don't mind the Sea Eagles team for next year. Lost the last 3, but again against 3 hot teams. I mean, Roosters have been killing it lately. Panthers and Warriors, so not too horrendous. They beat the Dragons, beat the Sharks, so it's not horrible for them. I see a pretty good rugby league team in there. Not too sure about the Bulldogs. I'm not too sure what I see there yet. I'm not feeling them for next year either. I don't think you drop Crichton in that team and they get a ton better, but look at that. Average points conceded, 31 points. That is ridiculous, man. What are the Tigers? So Tigers are on the bottom. I saw this, there's a couple podcasts getting around. Wow, only 26. There's a couple podcasts getting around, and they were sort of arguing, are the Bulldogs the worst team in the comp, even though they're not coming last? And one of the, they're cool. I actually like the lads, but they're clearly biased, and I'd happily say it to their faces. Don't think I'm hiding behind a keyboard here. But good lads. I actually generally like their podcasts. They're pretty cool. But at the end of the day, we've won games, and that makes us better than those teams. I technically 100%. You won more games than some of the teams below you, but these numbers right here are damning. And last in defense, last in attack, last. Every stat is last. Just jagged a couple wins obviously early in the year. So personally for me, I actually think the Bulldogs are the worst team now. They were actually looked like they were okay at the start of the year, but they've gotten worse. So their first half sort of outweighing this, keeping it above, the Tigers and the Dragons. But I'm telling you now, Tigers and Dragons are substantially better than the Bulldogs right now. And I think they have a better promise next year. I don't think you drop Crichton into this team and they make the top 8. Put it that way. So look, let's just not waste a whole heap of time on this one. We're going to go to the Seagulls. I don't think they've been too bad. And let's get on to the cracker, the final game of this round. Knights versus the... Man, it's going to be so good. Man, I've been loving Connor Tracy. He was dead set the best player in the park last week. And there was State of Origin players littered through that game. Connor Tracy, not even a regular first grader. He's a freak. He's so good to watch, man. He moves different. Got Katora against Dom Young, Gago against Ramian, Bradman Best against Talakai, Mulatalo versus Marju. Oh, man. Man, I'm going to give a massive shout out to the Knights. I said in my post game, I was sort of down on them because I'm like they messed up. They messed up putting Kalen Ponga at 6. That was the stupidest thing ever. But I got to stop being negative, man. Look at the positive. You got yourself a rugby league team. You're in the finals. I don't think you can win outside of the top 4. You can see where I would be bummed. But at the end of the day, man, you guys are playing cracking footy, and I think you're good enough to beat any team in the comp. I'm not saying that you are going to beat every team in the comp and win the grand final, but I think on your day, if you play your absolute best rugby league, I think you can match it with anyone. And Jesus, I'd love to see him play Brisbane again right now, on a dry track in the middle of the day. Ooh, that would be a game, son. Hastings back, that's great. I've been loving Gamble. I've been loving Trindle. Toby Rudolph, he's blowing, he's unfit, but then, man, I've got to give these two lads a shout-out. Royce Hunt and Tom Hazelton completely changed the game. They dominated the Cowboys through the middle. It was absolutely brilliant. And then, this is good, man. McInnes on Elliott. There's matchups everywhere. Got the 2 OGs, Fitzgibbon versus Wade Graham. Tyson Frizzell, Nirakora, Ueli on Leo Thompson. Oh, man. This is a game, son. And you know what? I'm not putting a cent down on this game. I'm going to sit back, grab myself a whiskey, get into it. Watch this thing. How good. I cannot wait. Whew. Yeah, the odds $1.68 to $2.19. I think the one difference, and I'm leaning towards the Knights, is Kalen Ponga has just... Even last year, right? Like I said last year, he looked way more dangerous than he was, right? And I stand by that. It's funny, I say stuff ages ago, and it's like they're like that forever. Like last year, for example, I was like, I think Payne Haas is overrated. He won Dally M prop of the year. I was like, I don't think he was the best prop. I thought Moses Theodore was better. I thought, there was about 4. I thought Tino was better. Tarpany last year, not this year, but Tarpany I thought was better. And then he's fixed that. And I'm sitting here going, yeah, he probably is. You know what I mean? And Kalen Ponga, for me, I used to give him a little bit of rubbish because I always said he looked a little more dangerous than he was. He'd sort of get on the outside of someone, poke his nose through, get dragged down. And I always said he looked a little more dangerous than he was. He sort of half gets you out of your seat. No, it doesn't get you right out. He gets you half out of your seat, but he gets you half out of your seat every time. And that's why I thought, I didn't think he was overhyped, but I was like, oh, maybe he is a little bit. Somehow, all of a sudden, those half chances, he bursts through the line now. I don't know if he's a little bit better, bigger, a little bit stronger. His balance is a little bit better, but he's dead set breaking through the line. It's been brilliant. It's just, like I said, no, I don't even have to keep. I'm not even happy to eat my words because I'd stand by what I said last time. I thought he was massively overrated, and he's fixed all that stuff, and he's just been absolutely electric. And I dare say I like watching him better than Reece Walsh right now. He's so good. And the thing is too, like he's not Reece Walsh is brilliant, but he's got the errors in his game. Ponga doesn't have any errors in his game. He's so good. Man, he's good. It's crazy. What a turnaround for the Knights, man. You guys should be so stoked. Who wants to play them in the finals? Where are they going to end up? All right, they have Shark. If they win this, they're going to push up into. They could possibly jump 2 spots into 5th. And who they got next week? Dragons. Jesus Christ. Oh man, they could be 5th and get a home final. Who wants to play them? So they could be 5th and it could be Raiders, Bunnies, Cowboys playing the... Jesus Christ. Yeah, like Roosters or Cowboys could sneak into the 8, have to play the Knights in Newcastle in an Arvo game and get slaughtered. And just wow. Crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, look, matchups galore in this game. We've got Marju and Mulatalo. Oh, man, this game is going to be sick, man. Wow. Form guide, all right. So Sharkies got him last time, and that was this year in May, earlier in the year, very early in the year. They played last year in September. That would have been, the week before the finals? Yeah, September 4th would have been the last round. Yeah, so both teams flying high. This is why it's good. I mean, look, that's 3 good teams have beaten. And then they lost to the Panthers. And like I said, Seagulls are a little better than people are giving them credit for. And then the Knights, they've knocked off the Storm, the Raiders, the Dolphins, the Doggies, the Rabbitohs. So only 2 of these losses are sort of weakish ones, So, like, yeah, it's pretty damn nuts, man. Pretty damn nuts. I cannot wait for this. Completion rate's about 75 each. Tackle efficiency, 87 each. It's damn even, man. Look at this. Oh, man. Knights scoring 25. They're scoring 26. Knights conceding 19. Sharkies conceding 20. It's so even. Look at this. Play the ball speed. Identical. Wow. And this right here, this might get them home. Wins at home. Playing at home. Is it an Arvo game? Oh, it is too. Oh, Knights get it done in a day game at home. How about them apples? Jesus Christ. Wow. All right, so let's have a little look-see. What have we got? We got Penrith. We got Wars, but we've got Dragons to cover the line. We've got Cowboys, but we've got Dolphins to cover the line. We've got the Storm. We've got the Roosters, but we might be taking the Tigers to cover the line. We got the Broncos, but not super confident. But I think they're good enough to get it done, even without Reynolds. We've got the Sea Eagles, and we've got the Knights. And then we've got more controversy headlines to come out of the Bunnies. Let's see if we can go 8 from 8, eh? Or 9 from 9. Beautiful, guys. All right, we're done. Thank you all so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.